right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Beneath the Mendoza Line podcast. The All-Star break is over, and we are back with some more content coming your way.
We are back.
Uh,
Second half of the season on the way.
Second half of the season, there's roughly 62 games left this season. I am going to the Nats game tomorrow. Mackenzie Gore bobblehead giveaway. So we'll be posting some photos from that. I know Alex has been to a couple games since we've had our last podcast here. And we'd like to remind everyone this podcast is sponsored by Wendy's, Taco Bell, T-Mobile. So please go out and support our sponsors out there. Also by Whisker Reviews, Sam Engelbrecht on last episode. Great reviews from Sam's review of Bull Durham. So shout out Sam for coming on the program. If you'd like to come on the program, anybody is welcome. Through a review, but anybody's welcome. Obviously, we need to discuss the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. Bobby Witt Jr. letting everybody know what's happening in Kansas City with that power coming from him. It was literally on the pregame show. Eduardo Perez, I think, was the one who kept saying, "It's like, don't let Bobby Witt Jr. get in the finals. Don't let it happen. I think he's going to sneak his way in there," and that's exactly what happened. When he did end up getting in the finals, it was more or less just like, who the heck? Like, how the heck did this happen?
Yeah, exactly.
And so it was he was very impressive in the home run derby. He had won the high school home run derby when he had just got drafted by the Royals. He was 18 years old. That was out here in DC when Bryce Harper actually won the home run derby. So ton of fun from the home run derby itself. Different format this year. For everyone that watched it. We'd like to hear your comments, your concerns, your likes, your dislikes on the new format. I personally like the new format.
I was gonna say hot take. I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like the new format. 40 balls. That means that your pitcher has to be dialed in. If your pitcher makes a bad if your pitcher makes a bad pitch, you're going to suffer for it.
I did see some complaints by people saying we didn't come here to watch the bullpen pitcher fuck up. So I agree with that a little bit.
Yeah, but
I think it should be 40 swings.
40 swings
in the 3 minutes, not 40 balls.
Yeah, 40 swings would be better with it. Obviously, if you hit one over 425, you get the extra 3 outs, and that's just three. It's either a home run or an out. And then if you hit one over 425 in the bonus round, you get an extra out, which I thought was great. And that's honestly what saved Tasker Hernandez in that final round.
Correct.
Is he was kind of ass during the final round, but then really kicked it in gear during the final round.
That's honestly, I missed the outs format of the home run derby. Like the home run derby to me died after Josh Hamilton and Mark Teixeira, was it, in Yankee Stadium?
Destroying balls.
Yeah. I mean,
2009, 2010.
Yeah, hitting what, like 15, 16 in a row into the short porch in right field. That was probably the highlight of the home run derby. And it's been downhill ever since. I was glad to see the outs come back. The only thing is that people get into swing mode so much in that 3-minute period that I think they need to swing in the outs too, and people were
even the out mode went really really quickly.
Yeah, they just didn't take enough pitches.
Teoscar Hernandez is really the only guy that hit 4 or 5 home runs in that extra time that they gave him. Most Gunnar Henderson popped out 3 in a row.
Yeah, he did. He didn't even
get out of the infield.
Yeah,
which Gunnar Henderson, that was very disappointing. He was supposed to be on a direct route to the finals because he's been hitting so well and swinging the bat so well during the regular season. 26 home runs, something like that. And he was complete shit. He was complete dog water during the actual home run derby. I think Alec Boehm turned some heads as he was the first to go.
And won the first round.
Adolis Garcia. The big thing with him that everyone kept saying was that like he's barely moving out there. He's literally just he's like using his arms to swing. He's not even taking a big leg kick. His hips are barely moving. He's doing it all on his arms. That was very impressive. But overall,
I have another.
Go ahead.
Yeah, another gripe with the home run derby. Not enough big boys. There wasn't enough big fat guys hitting home runs. I want to see the big lefties. I know that they're not household names, and that's probably why
Jose Ramirez can barely hit a ball over 400 feet.
Correct. Yeah, no point. I want to see. The idea would be like O'Neal Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, Isaac Paredes.
Get get Rowdy
And
Tellez
then
out there.
Rowdy
Get the
Tellez,
big
Jai-Man
boys.
Choi,
G-Man Choi, yeah.
yeah, G-Man Choi, and then who else who's a big hefty guy? Now Alonso,
Salvi.
we don't care about. Yeah, Salvi would be good. Daniel Vogelbach.
Yeah, get the big boys out there.
Yeah,
Get them swinging the stick.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's see some 500 footers out there. They're not
yeah.
gonna have great. They're not gonna have great technique, but they're gonna hit the ball a long ways, right?
Yeah, and that's
You
and
know,
that's what we came here for.
and then what they should do is with the big boys, with the heavier set crew, is say if you can make it down to first base, whoever can make it down to first base, you get the extra time.
You
Whoever
get
make it
the
down to first base the fastest, you get the extra time. You get the extra 3 outs. To hook the trailer, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but
And
yeah,
then
all in all,
after they hit 3 minutes of home runs, hot dog eating contest.
I really like that. The players need to utilize the outs or the timeouts better. I feel like
Correct.
guys were like Tasker Hernandez. The second round was super gassy. Obviously, they did go to the swing off and everything like that, but he was super gas. They weren't utilizing the timeouts accurately. Like if you are a minute in or a minute and a half
And
in
you have like
with
one home
with
run.
20 ball and you have 3 home runs, you need to be taking that timeout, reset, get the juices flowing, talk to your teammates, whatever, just get a new
Correct.
mindset. I feel like guys weren't doing that enough. They were waiting until they were 26 balls in, almost 30 balls in before taking their timeout. That's exactly what Gunnar Henderson did. Is
Yeah.
he was 30 balls in and had 4 home runs. It's like, oh shit, I am screwed now.
I will offer
Um,
myself up. I will be the home run derby coach, all-time coach. Anybody wants to hire me, I will coach you through the home run derby.
That's a product you have to pay for, people.
Yep.
Shout out to John Gibson, our buddy John Gibson. He told me at one point, this was, I think, back in maybe it was San Francisco. He was one of the kids on the field shagging the balls. There were some nice plays to be made. There was
There
no
were
kids getting domed this year, but there were some nice plays made out by the kids shagging the balls.
the kids in the outfield were too old. I
They were
want to
too
see
old.
the little kids that actually will get trucked over.
Yeah,
A little
that
disappointed.
was it. Was like I said, home run derby was a lot of fun. Um, my old boss was at the red carpet show on Tuesday
Oh,
afternoon
nice.
before the All-Star game. So I'm gonna try to get some photos from her from that. Um, Other things, yeah, obviously the All-Star game itself. Paul Skeens making history. Not
Mhm.
even a year in. Not didn't even start the season up in the bigs and started the All-Star game. I Okay, his first pitch, all these guys talking, Buster Olney, Tim Kershaw, all these guys talking about that first pitch is going to be 102, 103, and he clocks in at a measly 99, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So he didn't have, amazing stuff. I thought he was going to blow everybody away. You had the one walk, you're only getting one inning to pitch.
Correct.
But still very impressive that he got to start the All-Star game. Especially as I thought the old head managers were going to be like, nah, this guy hasn't earned it yet.
A
He's
lot
got
of them. Well, I think a lot
20.
of them
Yeah,
were that way.
yeah,
I know one of the guys that I work with. He's an older, ball fan, and he's probably like 60, 68, and he was all pissed off about it. I don't care. I think it makes sense. My only issue is that they're only doing it, I think, because they want to do like the Livy Dunn thing.
absolutely.
And did Paul Skeens deserve it on his own? Probably. Was Livy Dunn being a super famous person help that? Probably.
Definitely helped. Um, I other guy, Ranger Suarez. I don't even think Ranger Suarez. He was like the fourth or fifth pitcher. Like Max Fried was the second pitcher up. And then I mean Zach Wheeler's hurt. Like he probably would deserve a spot there. But then the other one I wanted to talk about is Corbin Burns starting for the AL. Right. I
Yep.
don't know if Corbin Burns super deserved that. I
No.
think Tariq Skubal probably
Scooble
probably
from Detroit definitely
should have
deserved
been the
it.
guy. I think this is a Bruce Bochy move. Okay, the Bruce Bochy, they won the World Series last year. Is the AL manager. He's the AL manager of the All Star game. Okay, that's their new thing they're doing, right? And so he is playing the Rangers. Who's their weekend series against this week?
It's against Baltimore. Interesting.
Against the Orioles. So he wanted to
Wow.
see a little Corbin Burns action. And you know who is pitching this weekend for the Orioles? Corbin
Well,
Burns.
I'd assume he probably has. Well, he wouldn't be today. He'd be what, Saturday probably.
Yeah. So I think that was a little tactic that Bruce Bochy was playing.
And boy,
Smart
Bruce.
guy. Smart
Yeah, I was
guy.
gonna say very smart guy.
He's got a couple World Series under his ring, so I thought that was pretty funny. Talking about the Orioles are now back on top of the AL East. They're one game up from the
Yeah, one
Yankees.
game up
Um, they've
because
been
of
they've been playing good ball. Adley Rutschman has figured it out a little bit. Anthony Santander has been an absolute stud, as well as Gunnar Henderson. And like I said, Corbin Burns has been good. I don't think he was good enough to start the actual All-Star game. But he's been good. The AL East itself is going to kind of be a dog race all year, especially if the Yankees are once they got Garrett Cole, they decided they didn't want to play ball anymore and decided they wanted to stink. And as of like 2 weeks ago, I had written down in my notes, the Yankees suck. The Yankees are stinky.
Oh, I had it written down too.
And the good redeeming thing for the Yankees is Rice, baby. Ben Rice taking
Ben
over
Rice.
for
Anthony Rizzo.
Anthony Rizzo, who went down, lighting it up. He had that 3-home run game a couple weeks
Yep.
ago. My buddy Dave went down to Tampa, visit his folks, and they went to 2 of the Yankees game. Got to see a Rice home run, which is really awesome. I really like that kid. Doesn't really
too.
have the first base position itself
No,
super figured out at this point.
He's like a DH only kind of guy, or like maybe a little bit of the outfield, but yeah, he looked awkward in the field.
Yeah, and there's been a couple plays where he hasn't been able to scoop. There's been a couple. There was that one play where the ball literally rolled and hit the bag and skipped away from him.
Yeah.
It's instead of him going to get the ball, he let it. It was a slow trickler, and he let it hit the bag. So
Yep.
hopefully he gets it figured out. Other Yankees news, obviously Garrett Cole has been back. Last start he had pitched amazing, like 9 or 10 Ks, pitching tonight as well. So hopefully I mean, those first 2 starts were pretty terrible. Seems like he's got to figure it out. They're playing the Rays this weekend. Other things, other things I want to talk about. Will Smith for the Dodgers. Okay, this dude, I feel like he doesn't play like he probably plays 80% of the games. Doesn't play every game.
Correct.
Like Gunnar Henderson or Jonah Heim, some of these guys. But he will just randomly have games where he'll get me 12 fantasy points, where he'll literally go 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 2 doubles.
That was when when the Brewers were in LA. I mean, I think he hit like 5 home runs in the series. It was insane.
That was the series. He hit 3 home runs in 1 game.
Yeah, it was nuts. It just kills us.
And I feel like just randomly him and Max Muncy will they'll go 0 for 4, 3 Ks one day. Next game, literally, 4 for 4, 2 home runs and 2 doubles, right? And a walk, right? I feel like I just always see that weird stat line coming from Will Smith. He got the big bag this year, so it makes sense.
Correct.
Other news: the Phillies are up 8 games. They're going to start to pull away. I think they're first to 60. They're playing really good ball. I mean, they sent 5 guys. 8 guys, I think, with pitchers to the All-Star game.
Insane.
Really good team chemistry there. Was it against the Brewers, Alex, that the Pirates hit the 6 home runs in 1 game? No, I think it was against the Mets. It was right before they played the Brewers.
I think it was against the Mets.
Yeah, they hit 6 home runs in 1 game. Very impressive. I had that written down. Astros are only 1 game back right now. They're really starting to turn it up. Obviously, Jose Altuve is going to be Jose Altuve always.
I thought they were dead. They are not dead.
Me too. The entire AL West though is dead. I mean, the Mariners can go either way. I feel like because they play on the West Coast, so I don't get to watch a ton of their game. I'll watch a couple innings, but I feel like they are it's so up and down. I think they're still a couple games over 500, but I could see that plummeting. And I think the Astros could probably win that game at 5 or 6 games above 500, or win that division at 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, you'd assume so. Mariners could make some moves. I could see. I mean, they're obviously more of a quote unquote lower spending team. But I could see them making heck, what if they traded for Crochet or any of those big
Derek Crochet is an absolute monster. He's got an awesome leg kick too. He's definitely going.
That division's up for grabs, so I think you have to be a buyer. I don't know.
Yeah, it very much up for grabs. Other things coming out of the AL Central, Salvi has 1,500 hits now. Took him long enough, but he hit 1,500 hits probably about a week and a half ago. So congrats to Salvi there.
Can the Guardians keep up this pace? They're 21 games over.
I think the Guardians can pick up the pace. They have name a pitcher for the Guardians. Name one.
Tristan McKenzie, but I think he's hurt.
And he's coming out of the bullpen most of the time too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They are doing it with great defense, and they're just fucking crushing the ball too.
Yeah,
and they're doing it under the radar. That's one of the things, right? Is that the Guardians they're not that big market team like the Yankees or the Dodgers, even the Orioles at this point. Orioles, yes, smaller market, but have the names, right? Have all these really young studs, and won the division, won the AL East last year, right? I feel like those big teams, just like the Chiefs, right? Everybody who's playing those guys, they're circling the game, on their schedule, and we're going to bring our absolute A game to these. Some of these teams, they're getting the Guardians on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're getting swept. Oh, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're going to Cleveland. We'll see what happens, and they're getting
Correct.
crushed, right? And that's why they're able to be, almost 20 games over 500 at this point, and are still 8.5 up on the Twins. The Royals have moved out of playoff contention. Of course, they have. Cole Reagans is struggling a little bit. Pitched well
Are they
during the All-Star
actually
game.
are they actually out of playoff contention?
They are
I
out of
mean,
playoff
aren't they?
contention as of right now.
What
The
are
Red
they?
Sox took their spot. They're one game behind the Red Sox.
Got it.
Tanner Huock, pretty sure he got crushed. I'm pretty sure he got drilled during the All-Star game. I think that's the guy that Ohtani hit that big blast off of. Ohtani being the only guy that did
Yeah,
anything for the National League.
correct. Which is
During that
normal.
Yeah, during that All-Star game. I'm pretty sure Tanner Huock got drilled. I think he got caught in the crossfires there. It was really cool when they did the mic'd up thing when Trey Turner had that amazing play that diving play at shortstop. He was mic'd up during that time. I think that solves our mic'd up curse. Because it was like during they mic up the guys at Sunday Night Baseball.
It was the
Jeremy
Yankees
Pena.
game. The Yankees game where the shortstop and the third baseman didn't communicate, right? Or was that the Astros?
Exactly. So no, that was the Astros. That was Jeremy Pena.
You're right.
And Alex Bregman.
Yeah, you're right.
It was like there was a little bit of a curse, especially on shortstops. During that time, there was a little bit of a curse. They were making errors or like not making plays or just sailing balls or not being quick enough. I think maybe that curse is dead due to our friend Trey Turner over there. So
I want the announcers to start asking better questions. They're a little too boring.
I submit a question on Twitter every Sunday night, and they never put it on there. I submit it from our Benito Mendoza line X account. They never put it on there. Yeah, they're a little unhinged questions, but one of them I asked. I think it was it wasn't Alec Bohm. I don't remember who it was, but I asked them. It was some guy on Boston. No, some Boston player. I asked them. Where's it was Jaron Duran. I asked them where's the best place to get a lobster roll in Boston, right? Some of the other ones I won't repeat on here because they're a little unhinged. But I ask a question every time. They don't do it. I want to know stuff about these guys. What's their dog's name? What do they like to do when they're kids? I want to know actual stuff, an actual mic'd up thing. I don't want to know, are you looking forward to playing in your first All-Star game?
Yeah. Or how cool is it to be a baseball player? It's like
exactly
cool. Like, what do you think we're talking about here?
No, I want to know a time, like when they were in Little League or when they were in junior ball where they got absolutely bagged one practice by their coach for being a dick,
exactly.
I want to know the ins and out, that type of thing.
Speaking of Little League, did you see the dad or the coach and the umpire get into the brawl down in, I don't know, like Ohio or whatever?
No.
Team was up like 15-8. Umpire, called the guy out or whatever, kind of keep the game moving. Mm-hmm. Coach comes in, gets in his face, pushes him, and then the ump takes his mask and just beats the shit out of the coach. It was so fucking funny.
What is this, like 10U? Was this like 10U baseball? Like 10U Little League?
Jesus. It was the state tournament, obviously, to try to go to
the Little League
World Series. Brutal.
Interesting. I do like the signs at all the Little League games. So not all of them, but a bunch of Little League like little ballparks where it's like your player is not going to play in the bigs. If they were, they wouldn't be playing here. So you all can chill the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand your kids getting hosed, something like that. Something egregious happens, but
I don't have any
everybody
kids,
relax.
But I have a nephew that's just started playing baseball, a couple years ago. So he's really just getting the basics. I think he's 10. And I've gone and watched him play a couple of times. Good arm. He's going to be tall. He probably end up being a good pitcher. But sometimes like the parents in these fall leagues that are just supposed to be fun, like where like you bat through the order and then it switches, like it's not for anything, and they just rip on the umpires, and it's not that important.
These kids that are umpiring are getting paid like $14 a game. Like you can relax there, fella. Yeah. It's supposed to be a bigger zone for the kids, right?
Correct.
Other things that I just have written down here, the Cubs are the Cubs. They were on a little bit of a hot streak, have now just, I think, fallen apart. Yeah, they lost today. Dansby Swanson still sucks. Thinking about dropping him here soon.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I,
see a
like
lot of Cubs fans calling for Craig Counsell's head.
it's been 2 months.
I know. I see it on X. I
Yeah,
see it all over the place. That unenthused, boring. Who wants to play for this guy? Kind of tweets. Tough. It's a tough world down there in Chicago.
doesn't have the locker room. Doesn't have the locker room. Other things, the midseason awards came out. Otani and Judge, respectively, NL and AL MVPs. Paul Skeens, Rookie of the Year. What else have I written down here? Luis Hill from the Yankees, Rookie of the Year. NL Cy Young as of right now. Chris Sale, that was again. These are fan voted,
That's
but Chris
correct.
Sale out of the NL AL. Tariq Skubal from the Tigers. So I think that's a good list. I think Paul Skeens, if he keeps it up, could do Rookie of the Year and NL Cy Young. Like I said, Zach Wheeler went down. Ranger Suarez is a little bit struggling right now too. So I haven't watched a whole lot of Chris Sale's games this year. I watched a
I
couple of
haven't
them,
either.
and he's just kind of been average. But I know, like I've been tracking him in fantasy, and he's been a stud. So I'm not too surprised by that. Couple softball updates from the softball here in Washington D.C. No, actually updates. Been rained out the past two Wednesdays,
Oh,
so haven't
brutal.
haven't been able to haven't been able to play. So we will. So it's going to add 2 weeks though onto our season.
All right. Hey, we're
Um,
getting into fall ball at that point.
yeah. So it's going to add. We're basically playing through August now at this point. So
Cool.
we're gonna be doing that. So we'll come at you week after week about that. The American League, now wins 10 of the last 11 All-Star games. That's pretty impressive. Pretty
For
impressive
no
from them.
reason. I mean, it's one of the most meaningless things. There's no rhyme or reason why the AL at this point would be better than the NL, but yet they still just kick the shit out of the NL every year,
They
and
smoke them.
I have no idea why.
Yeah. I did watch the 30 for 30. I forget what it's called, or maybe it wasn't 30 for 30. It was on like after a game I was watching. They just cut to it on the MLB .com TV thing that I have. And here's a pretty cool thing on there. It said, let's see if you know a little trivia.
Ooh,
Um,
tough.
there's only one number retired in the Yankees Hall of Fame. Okay. It's number 23. All right. And it is the only Yankee to not win a World Series. That's
Of
the
of
one
the
number
numbers that
not,
are
yeah,
of the
of the
numbers that
numbers to
are
not win a World Series. Number 23. Um, who is this player? Played in the 80s and then early 90s before they went on that three-peat, before Jeter got there. Formerly, I think still like a bench coach in the Marlins system. Maybe was head coach, manager of the Marlins at one point.
I
Who
don't think
is this player?
I don't think I know this. Um, Pitcher or position player?
Position player, second
Oh,
baseman, and played a little first.
no, I don't know this.
The answer we're looking for is Don Mattingly.
No shit. I
Yeah,
I I didn't even know that they had his number. I should have known that they
yeah.
had his number
So
retired.
number
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like I said, only number that the Yankees retired, the only one not to win a World Series that his number is retired. He left in like the 90, in the 91 or 92 season, right before they went on this big three-peat, with Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter, right before they got A-Rod, right? And
Sure,
so
sure.
he is talking in this, and he's never won a World Series, right? And he's never going to get in the Hall of Fame. One, because of that, and two, he really he played for like 12 years.
Yeah,
Really
he
only
only has
had
13 years. That's
eight
insane.
years of those that are
Six All-Star
actually,
games.
yeah, he really only has 6 to 8 years of that are actually worth noting for that Hall of Fame resume.
I got to be honest.
But
Why is his number retired? I mean,
I
he had a good season in '86. He won the MVP in '85, so
I think that's
maybe
why.
that's it. But like, does every MVP deserve to
Well,
have their
that's the
number
thing. He won that
retired?
MVP over George Brett.
And that's a big deal. George Brett, probably the best third baseman of all time.
George Brett's got a World Series and 3 MVPs and 3 batting titles as well.
Yeah.
So, but they had a bunch of guys that were actually in the Hall of Fame, and they're just like, we don't know why he's not here. He's in the conversation as that he played right around the same time period we did. He was always the guy that we were like, holy shit, we need to prepare for this guy. So pretty cool thing that I saw there.
Hmm.
Other trivia is here. I don't know if this is actually true, but I'm gonna say it's true. Who is the only active manager right now who is a pitcher when they played?
Ooh, that's
I didn't know this one. This was also on the thing because he was talking about Don Mattingly, manager for the Colorado Rockies.
oh Bud Black.
Bud Black, only active manager that was a pitcher. Usually the pitcher managers don't really work out because you're a PO, right? You're not really talking about
Yeah, you
defensive
don't really know the
schemes,
players and stuff. Yeah.
especially or offense really. But yeah, he was a pitcher, played for the Royals for a bunch of years.
Oh, he had a really long career.
Yeah, the really famous pitcher manager Tom Lasorda. So yeah, that was a pretty cool
Or
thing that I
that's
saw.
good. That's good trivia, Nate. Good trivia.
Yeah, when I heard him, I wrote him down. Other things, James Wood comes up for the Nats. He already changed his number. He hasn't done shit that he should be changing his fucking number. But he's already changed his number. They are giving out free number changes in the Nationals team store right now for the
Correct.
people that bought his jersey. I was gonna go to the opening day, or sorry, his opening game, and the tickets were like $80. And I was like, I don't care enough about this guy. It was on like a Wednesday too. They're giving out a free T-shirt, which actually looked pretty cool. I've seen some people around town with it. But yeah, unfortunately, I did not go. I think he had a hit in that game too, but he's been kind of stinky since he came up. I think he did finally get his home run. Obviously, we're going to see him tomorrow. We'll keep everybody appraised on his successes or lack thereof.
I got to see him. Nationals came into town right before the
Yes.
All-Star break. I sat 6 rows from the field, third base dugout, so right by the Nationals dugout. He didn't seem as tall to me in person. Again, it might
He's
have been
like
an angle,
6'8", dude.
but he's huge. He's absolutely ginormous. And I think what it was is oh shit, who's the Nationals? He's like 6'8", 6'9" pitcher for the Nationals, starting pitcher.
Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, no, Corbin didn't pitch. It was the other shoot, what's his name? You guys have another kid. He destroyed us.
Jake Urban. The kid that looks like Jesse Plemons, blonde kid.
Yeah, I think it's that kid.
Dylan Hers or something.
No, that's DJ Hers.
DJ Hers, yeah. Our research department is on
Yeah,
this one, folks.
I'm worried. Anyways, didn't look as tall in person. I think because their pitcher is ginormous. And I was a little surprised, and he did not play very well, but very cool. Mackenzie Gore.
Mackenzie Gore is pretty big.
No,
I
he's
would
only
say James.
6'2".
That's just saying he's bigger than I am.
Yeah, he's only 6'2".
Our stats department will get back to us on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep everybody appraised about how James Wood is doing. That's really everything I had here. Like I said, we'll send some photos of the bobblehead that we get tomorrow. And again, if anybody has any gripes or any compliments that they'd like to send in this show, we don't get a whole lot of them. Bring them our way. Again, send us any photos, especially of Cubs fans wearing their Cubs jerseys or hats, not at Cubs games. My buddy Mark did this to me, or sent one to me at a Padres games. They were playing within 2,000 miles of that stadium. So please continue to send those in. The Cubs are coming out here to DC at the end of August, so I'll be going to that as well.
Jackson Rutledge.
Jackson Rutledge. Okay, yeah,
He's 6'8", 241. Just
that's
massive,
a big fella.
bro.
That's a big fella. The Nationals actually have a pretty good opponents coming up at home. The Angels are coming here. The Angels suck. Nice. But it's always good to see the Angels. Yankees are coming here in September. Royals are coming here in September.
Nice. We get the Dodgers in a few weeks. I'm excited. I'm going to two of the Brewer Dodger games when they come in August, which I'm excited for. Obviously, showy.
Well, Alex is going to some games, so make sure everyone else is getting out to some games. Again, the baseball season continues tonight. July 19th. Hopefully I get this uploaded tonight. And there's a bunch of good series going on. Like I said, Garrett Cole's pitching tonight, so keep an eye on him. that's everything I got, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Right here, I'm elsewhere, standing right here.